Burnt to a Crisp, The Warehouse Fire Fiasco, a workplace comedy short story. Part 1. The Monday Morning Disaster. Bree pulled into the W.T.F. logistics parking lot, half awake, coffee in hand, ready to drag herself through another miserable workday. But the moment she stepped out of her car, she froze. The warehouse was gone, burned, charred, still smoking. All that remained was a skeleton of metal beams, ash, and what looked like the melted remains of a vending machine. Geordie pulled up beside her, stepped out, and stared in disbelief. "Oh, shit. James finally did it," Bree muttered. Geordie, "Did what?" Geordie took a deep breath. "James burned this place to the ground. Guess he was still pissed about getting fired." And then, one by one, the employees arrived. Cody, Keith, Mark, Alan, Jalil, Mike, Jess, Shay, Lawrence, John, Steve, White, Daryl, and 20 other workers, all staring at the ruins of their workplace. Cody broke the silence. "So, Steve, we can go home, right?" Steve, "Absolutely not." Whispers of outrage spread through the crowd. "This is some bullshit." Steve ignored them. "We're still working today." Bree's jaw dropped. "Working where?" Steve slowly turned and pointed. "Next to this burned-up shit." Part 2. Welcome to Hell. Within minutes, tables were dragged outside, computers were set up on crates, workers desperately searched for shade. And then, the sun came out in full force. It was 98 degrees, no AC, no Wi-Fi, no relief, just stupidity. Mike wiped sweat off his forehead. "This gotta be illegal." Jalil nodded. "There's no way OSHA would allow this." Keith shrugged. "OSHA doesn't even know we exist." Meanwhile, Daryl was enjoying himself with a clipboard, looking too comfortable. Daryl, "I'm raising the price of protein bars to $10. Part 3. The heat-induced meltdown. By 10 a.m., the first employee, Mark, Lil Big Man, tapped out. Mark lay face down in the dirt, unmoving. Cody, "Did we lose Lil Big Man?" Jalil checked him. "He's still breathing, barely." Meanwhile, Bree was furiously typing at her laptop, sweat dripping onto the keys. Bree, "This is ridiculous. My keyboard is so hot it's burning my fingers." Lawrence turned to Shay, smirking. "Hey, Shay, want to get out of here?" Shay, "Shut your goofy ass up." Jess sat down next to Bree, then immediately screamed, "Oh, shit! This chair is hot as fuck!" Steve rubbed his big head and sighed. "Guys, production is dropping." Geordie threw his hands up. "What production? Half the staff has melted!" Meanwhile, Daryl stood beside his car, cooler in hand, smoothies and protein bars inside. Daryl, $5 a bottle. Cody squinted at him. "Dude, we work together. Why are you charging us?" Daryl smirked. "Dude, my ass. This is business. You think this is a game?" Bree glared at him. "I should kill your dumb ass." Part 4. The rebellion begins. By noon, the employees had had enough. Mike, delirious from heat stroke, stood on top of a crate and shouted, "We demand shade!" Steve yawned. "You can have shade when the warehouse is rebuilt." Alan, "I guess that's never." Jess, "We need tents, umbrellas, something. This is real-life bullshit." Steve sighed deeply, rubbing his big ass head. "Fine." And then he handed them all clipboards. "Just hold these over your heads." Silence. Everyone stared at him. Bree, "I swear to God, I will set your stupid ass on fire." Part 5. The Great Escape. At 1 p.m., Keith shouted, "Wait, why are we here?" Everyone turned. Keith, "Like, we could just leave. What are they gonna do? Fire us?" A single fly buzzed by. Then, chaos. Cody threw his laptop like it was cursed. Geordie sprinted to his car. Bree and Jess bumped into each other while running before peeling out of the parking lot. Even stupid-ass Steve looked at the ruins of the warehouse, sighed, and muttered, "Yeah, this isn't worth it." But Darryl stayed behind. Why? Because his protein bars were still selling. Darryl shouting at the fleeing employees, $7, last chance, you need energy to drive home. And somehow, he still made sales. Part 6. The Aftermath. By 2 p.m., W.T.F. Logistics was officially abandoned. The company had burned to the ground, literally and figuratively. A week later, they all received an email. Steve, reading out loud. Due to the unfortunate warehouse fire, W.T.F. Logistics will be permanently shutting down. A moment of silence, then, everyone reading their email cheers. Bree, Cody, Jordy, and the entire crew celebrated, and Darryl opened an online smoothie and protein bar store, charging $12 a bar. Because if there's one thing we learned from this experience, it's that desperate people will always pay. And others like. Lawrence will never have money to buy my protein bars. Because he has to buy that good. You know what?